Hey Blumhouse, that is how you make a horror movie. So I got the opportunity to watch Obsession this weekend, and when I tell you the more that I think about this movie and the more it sits with me and I reflect on it, the more I genuinely feel that this is one of the best modern horror movies ever made. And y'all know me, I'm typically not going to be the person that's just going to give some movie any type of crazy hype, but when I tell you that this movie genuinely deserves every single bit of it, it really does. Like, this movie completely floored me to how emotionally invested we are in these characters. This is one of those rare situations where every aspect of filmmaking ended up being pretty much perfected dang near, and it came together so perfectly. And mind you, this movie was shot with a $750K budget, so that just goes to show and prove that you do not need a high budget and all of the computer graphics team. You do not need all of those things. If you care about the craft of your movie, you're gonna find a way to make sure every single element is gonna be special, and that's exactly what they did. And so let's jump into this movie without giving away any major spoilers or anything like that. After breaking the mysterious one-wish Willow to win over his crush, a hopeless romantic gets exactly what he wanted. And that by itself is essentially all you need to know about this movie. Do not let people spoil this movie for you, because a part of what makes this movie so special is how unpredictable it is. You truly just never really know where a scene is about to go. And one thing that I really like is, typically whenever there's some type of curse or possession, amongst other things, things of that nature, it usually takes a while for that thing to settle into whoever the host is. But no, in this movie, it gets straight to the nitty gritty as soon as it happens. And it's like, wow, like, yes, this is what we're talking about. Like, it has none of that filler stuff. It gets straight to the point. And with that, I really want to talk about the acting first. The acting is genuinely the backbone of this movie and really what helps drive this movie home and make it so special. I mean, really, it's a culmination of everything, but the acting is like, wow, like it's jaw-dropping good. The performance that we get from Indy Navarrete, I hope I'm saying her name correctly, but her performance in this movie is some of the best I've ever seen in cinema all together. I'm talking about including performances like Denzel Washington from Training Day and, Shawshank Redemption, any popular movie that you've ever seen is like some of the best of all time, Forrest Gump, whatever it is. This movie, acting wise, can hang with all of those movies in any genre, I promise you. This genuinely was an acting masterclass from Indy. There's such a level of emotional vulnerability that she brings to the character that just feels so authentic and so real. And because of that, it makes all of her scenes, for the most part, that much more creepy and that much more just unsettling and unnerving that, I don't know, it just genuinely amazes me. Like, you feel the emotional weight behind everything that's happening. And then you have our other main character, Michael Johnston, as Bear, and he was also very good as well. It was pretty much perfect casting, because between him and Indy, and by the way, Indy Navarrete's character in this movie, her name is Nikki, so Nikki and Bear, their chemistry together was just so good. And their chemistry is what really helps elevate this movie. Because when you have a movie that actually takes time to make sure that you care for the characters, then anything that may or may not happen to them in the future, you feel it. You like, dang, like I did not want that to happen to said person, or whatever it is, or I wish that there was a way out of this for them, or whatever it may be, and that's something that a lot of horror movies forget to do nowadays. They focus so much on the kills and the atmosphere that they forget, we actually have to care about the people that you're killing. So, this movie doesn't have that problem at all. And even the supporting characters, like their friends in the movie, Ian and Sarah, like, I mean, it's just all a perfect culmination of casting and relationships between characters. Like, none of the characters feel disposable at all, and you can 100% thank Curry Barker for that in his directing and cast choice. And speaking of Curry Barker, our director, he did a fantastic job just from a perspective of shooting the movie, because just his shots are what helps make the movie go from this is a really good movie to this is a great movie. And I mean, this movie is shot beautifully, and it's not necessarily beautiful in a just this is the most polished and clean horror movie that you've ever seen. It's beautiful in the way that it's just that unsettling, and he knows how to frame his shot to make it really be that much more effective when you see something off in the corner, or, you know, whatever it may be. It's just that effective. Every frame feels uncomfortable in a lot of ways. Camera placement, the silence, the lighting, just all of it together just really creates a really nice atmosphere that really has you just locked in and honed in the entire movie. And it genuinely does not rely on your traditional jump scare horror movie setups. Like, I'm telling you, there were some jump scares in this movie, not a whole lot. There probably been like 2 or 3 or so, but when they happen, oh my God, they're really effective. And even the scenes that don't have any form of jump scare, the tension building and just the, oh my God, the anticipation for whatever may happen next is just at another level that it's kind of hard to beat in a lot of ways. Like almost every scene has some type of feel of unpredictable outcome, because you just don't know what's gonna happen to either Nikki or Bear in that particular situation. Some scenes are just straight up terrifying. And then also what makes it great is the brutality. This is an extremely brutal movie, and this movie absolutely earns its R rating. And I heard that this movie was actually rated NC-17 at first, but they had to scale it down a little bit to meet the R rating. I don't know, I presume that that's because, you know, for like a worldwide release, you would need it to be a R rating, so I think that that's why they did it. But just based on what we got with a R rating, I can only imagine what an uncut version or a director's cut version of this movie will look like. It's probably insane. Another thing that I really appreciate is how fresh this movie feels, for sure. And you know, that's kind of something that's hard to do nowadays, because with a lot of the horror movies out here, I mean, we've pretty much seen it all. So yeah, some movie is gonna remind you of something at some point, but this movie still felt very unique in its own right. Like, I know, for instance, a lot of people would probably relate this movie to a movie like Together from last year. And when I tell you, although I really did enjoy the movie Together, this movie beats Together in every single aspect of filmmaking that you can think of. It has better atmosphere, better character, better emotional connection, better direction, everything. I promise you. And I think, and once again, I attest that to Curry Barker being able to psychologically make you feel uncomfortable, even without you seeing something visually on screen that's particularly uncomfortable, or a sound or something like that. You're just thinking about, like, dang, you're just thinking about it to yourself, like, dang, like if I was in this situation, like, oh my God, I can only imagine how unbearable this might be. And that really makes a huge difference. And similarly, like I mentioned in the intro about Blumhouse, this is genuinely how you make a horror movie. Everybody who's a fan of this channel knows I've been extremely hard on Blumhouse in terms of their filmmaking, especially recently, just because it seems like they've kind of phoned it in a lot of ways with some of their horror movies, and not really giving us the same bangers that we used to get, especially in like the early 2010s with, you know, the Conjurings of the world, Insidious, movies like that. But no, this movie, they really did their thing. I cannot lie. I have to make sure that I give them all of the credit in the world for this movie, because this is a movie that really puts them right back on the map. When I tell you, I think of this movie in the same regards as some of my favorite movies of all time, and just some of what people think are the greatest, you know, modern horror movies. So when you think of The Smiles of the world, Talk to Me, The Conjuring, Sinister, it's something about Obsession that really hooks you and keeps you locked in. And there aren't too many movie experiences that I've had where a movie grasps you like this and doesn't let you go. And when you leave the theater, not even necessarily on because of how unsettling and scary the movie was, just the emotional weight of some of the stuff that was happening to people and all that good stuff, you're like, dang, like that stuff sticks with you. And that's something that I can't really say about too many horror films, honestly. Like, even furthermore, with some more fan favorites, The Long Legs that people love for some reason, and The Black Phone, and a movie that I adore like Weapons. This movie's better than that too. Like, I really don't know how else I can stress to you all how good this movie is, genuinely. And like I said, it's not that those movies are bad, it's just showing you how good this movie is, because clearly I'm telling you how great I think those other movies are, but this is that real deal. So basically, at the end of the day, this movie is everything that I could want in a modern horror movie. Once again, like I said, people who are fans of this channel know that I've been really wanting something that is genuinely scary and isn't gonna focus so hard on, you know, being comedic or even being thriller or sci-fi based and all of that good stuff. This movie just gives you great pacing, great emotional weight, unpredictability, brutality. This is one of those horror movies that reminds you of why you love the genre in the first place. Like, that is probably the biggest compliment that I can give it. And honestly, like I said, the more I reflect on it, the higher it climbs in terms of all-time ranks. Like, I genuinely feel already that this movie could potentially be touching a top 5. Lord. I think that already this movie could be touching top 50 horror movie of all time. That is how good I think this movie is. So as far as my ratings, from a technical aspect, I'm gonna give this movie a 4.5 out of 5. There aren't too many movies in the world that are gonna get, 5 out of 5 from a technical aspect from me, but this movie is about as close as you can get to a 5 out of 5 without being a 5 out of 5. I really love the technical aspect of this movie. As far as my enjoyment, it's probably going to be another 4.5 out of 5. That also might be one of those things that ends up being a 5 at some point down the road, just because this movie just keeps growing on me. I've only seen the movie once, and just the more I think about it, amongst seeing different people's opinions and feelings on social media, it just makes you grow to love this movie that much more. So honestly, in totality, this movie is a 9 out of 10, and it's just a perfect example of modern horror greatness. But that is all I got, Spooky Gang. Y'all comment down below, what did you think of the movie Obsession? Do you think that it potentially is one of the better horror movies of all time? I definitely do, so I certainly want to hear you guys' opinion. Spooky Gang, it feels good to be back. I know it's been a hot minute since I uploaded a video, but anybody that saw my post that I put on YouTube, that was a humongous event in my life, and took up a lot of my time, but I genuinely enjoyed every bit of it, and I'm just happy to be back and putting out these good old videos for y'all. So y'all already know how we do. It's all love, and I appreciate y'all for sticking around and showing your boy some love. Yeah, now that we back, we gonna keep this content rolling. Y'all already know how we rocking. So until next time, Spooky Gang, y'all stay blessed and y'all stay spooky.